Hey Taurus, hope you're doing well today. This is going to be your reading for the weeks of July 23rd to August 5th. And it is a 2-week span. I'm cutting back a little bit on the readings just for now. So they are 2-week spans for the readings this week. So just to let you guys know. But let's just jump right in. For you guys, Taurus, I was feeling the moon deck right away. So we'll see why the moon deck was calling. Messages for Taurus, please. Taurus. Two more shuffles. Messages for Taurus, please. What wants to come through? Why the moon deck? Two came out. Okay. What do you need to release and surrender to the divine? I'm going to scooch over this way a little bit so I can show you the cards. Surrender to the divine, full moon energy. We do have a full moon in Aquarius on August 1st. So full moons are culminations. What do you need to release? Pretty fitting. So we're releasing something. We're working on it. Meditate and contemplate. Full moon or new moon in Pisces. Some of you might have that placement, or the last new moon in Pisces cycle might be relevant. I'm not sure when that would have been. Probably during Pisces season. If not, then it would have been a while back, maybe in September. And then fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. Interesting. Again, that could be alluding to an Aries moon placement or Aries season. The energy is gaining momentum and fiery climax. With that, there feels like a lot of energy behind it. It's very fiery. Meditate and contemplate. So that's like an inner truth of sorts on this. So let's look at these two. What do you need to release? What is Taurus working on releasing with this full moon? So the Fool, that's more Aries energy. You could be a cusper or have a moon in Aries placement. What do you need to release? Surrender to the divine. It's like letting go. Yeah. The moon. Two more shuffles for Taurus, please. With meditate and contemplate and surrender to the divine, that is like a lot of spiritual energy coming in, just saying. What do you need to release for Taurus, please? Queen of Swords. We have some emotional energy coming through. Lots of Pisces on the bottom. We have a Queen of Swords. I want to get more, but Queen of Swords. I don't know why I didn't keep the other cards. Something told me to just look at it and then pull one or two others. Queen of Swords. She is looking a little scorned in this deck. She's a little PO'd. She can see through any kind of crap. Like, you can't pull the wool over her eyes. And with releasing, the Queen of Swords does cut with that sword man or woman. It's just factual energy, logical, rational, or truthful. It's like ruthlessly cutting something out. It's funny, the Queen of Swords is coming out, though, and we have like this surrender to the divine meditative energy. Anything else? Okay. Oh, wow. This is about love relationships for sure. There's that same group of cards that I saw before, but now coming out with the Queen of Wands and Strength. Leo energy. We are in Leo season right now. A lot of feminine energy coming through. Again, not necessarily woman. It's just receptive, especially with that spiritual, meditative energy. But this is action, emotion, thought, rationality. I just heard backing, like backing your beliefs, backing your words with actions, backing your emotions. Yeah, what a Queen energy, and then strength. That's like inner strength with that Queen of Swords. A lot of Libra, your opposite sign energy coming through. I believe there was an Aries moon cycle, like a full moon maybe, coming up in Libra season. Maybe. I think there is. It might be a new moon though. I don't have my list with me today. Definitely about love relationships, this reading, for sure. Whether that's a connection to a soul connection that needs to be released or soul contract. This is decisions as well, but the Lovers, divine connections, soul contracts, 2 of Cups, 2 cups. This looks like love, but it could just be anyone that you have a strong bond or soul connection with. That's what we're talking about with this releasing here. I just heard expectations. That's interesting too. With this Lovers deck too, that is Beauty and the Beast. I do get like an Empress and Inner Beast vibe off this card. They are polar opposites. But we have Justice coming through with the Page of Swords. Interesting. A lot of Libra energy coming through now. So some of you are Libras. Some of you, this is kind of having to do with someone that has Libra. I just almost said Moon in Libra placement. Libra in their chart or your chart for sure. This could be alluding to Libra season as well, which would be the end of September into October. Page of Swords and Justice. Justice. That's a big sword of truth. Major for Libra with that Queen there. And then this is like a spying card, I call it the card of would you just look at it. There's a bird on that person's hand, which is also about communication as well. They're looking at something, and it has to do with the truth here, but it's like an undeniable truth. Justness, fairness, balance. And then we have an Empress and a 4 of Wands underneath that. Interesting. This together is complete harmony. Complete harmony. I just heard saturation. That's weird, but I was thinking about abundance and compassion when I was about to say, I wanted to say that for whatever reason. These two energies together are really lovely. You know, they're binding in matrimony, they're celebrating. She is a celebration of life in itself. So it's interesting that we have this Queen of Swords energy. There could be something getting in between this 2 of Cups, or it needs to be cut away. I'm going to pull cards for this relationship. It can also be relationships in general. I'm kind of getting a specific relationship. Again, it doesn't have to be love, but it's certainly looking that way with the 4 of Wands and the Emperor showing. Justice can be marriage as well, like legal contracts like marriage. I'll pull for this. I want to get more on this relationship. It can also be anything that gets in between, fostering these abundant, harmonious relationships as well. Or this could be an actual Empress, possibly a Libra or strong Libra in their chart. It is also your opposite sign though. Interesting. We have 2 9s coming through, and they're not the fun ones. Worry, strife, but she is being lifted up by those swords of truth there, released, or she's kind of zenning out and letting the chips fall the cards fall where they may with those around her. Devil, Capricorn energy, something binding, toxic or tempting, stagnant possibly. And then 9 of Wands, it's almost to the finish line. It's like a final push, but that's really all you have left with that energy. Someone may be giving up on something here, or with that devil energy, it's time to cut something out of the picture and act on something. I want to pull just maybe one or two more for this Queen of Swords. That Sword of Truth. Contemplate. Contemplate. Yes, surrender to the divine is coming through. I'm not getting a ton of spiritual reading or energy out this reading. Yes, this is a divine sword of truth for sure. So with that, that's just speaking to me about, again, letting the chips fall where they may, the cards fall where they may on something that needs to be let go of and giving into that. I just am getting being a part of that, like acting on it, backing it that I was getting. But that's, I think, where the divine is coming in. It's almost like a knowing, or like, okay, it's time for this to fall away now. With the Queen of Swords coming out, I'm getting more contemplation and decision making with the Lover's energy. Like, there's definitely action behind this. It's not just like some of the readings when this comes in, it's like surrender, step back. With this, there's action behind it for sure. And then that contemplative Page of Swords, figuring it out, energy. Anything else about the Queen of Swords? The Devil. If it is a devil energy around you, you likely would know. The Queen of Swords is intelligent and she sees all the facts. You'll know what needs to be cut out here. I feel like the contemplation would be more about acting on it than figuring it out. But what do you need to release? It is posing the question. Tell me about the Queen of Swords for Taurus, please. Anything else before we move on to the relationship itself? Tell me about this Queen. Okay. Wheel of Fortune sideways. And then we have 2 sevens. 7 of Cups and 7 of Presents. It's just completely confirming exactly what I just went on that big rant about. So the Wheel of Fortune came out sideways. It's not upright, fortunate. It's not upside down, lack of fortune. It's just kind of like this. And I really feel like it's, you know, has to do with cutting away of this devil energy. It's kind of a blocker here. And, you know, just to use myself as an example, there was basically a list that I had made for myself, and I wanted a check for $4,000 in my hand, and I wanted X and I wanted Y and I wanted Z, and I was hanging out with some people that were pretty toxic, and I had been friends with these people for a really long time, and it just wasn't, it was blocking my success, like that devil stagnant energy that we saw earlier. It was blocking me a lot, just even having them around me. And as soon as I cut those people out of my life, and I'm not trying to be a dick if you're watching, like, I'm sorry, but it's just the truth, you know, and I'm not saying I was perfect in the equation either. We just weren't meshing. Like, it was a toxic relationship, right? A friend, I'm talking about friendships, but especially if this is a romantic relationship, because we do have the Lovers and the 2 of Cups here. Everything started falling into place and changing. I was unemployed at the time. All of a sudden I got my job, and that check actually did come in, like within weeks of cutting these people out of my life and just walking away for good. And I had completely forgotten about that list that I made, and I just found it in a diary like a year later, and I was like, wow, all those things happened. And I didn't realize how much those people were really blocking. Like, just sometimes the energy is just like a cloud around you, and there's no room for other things to come in. And that's what I'm getting off of this. It's not upright Wheel of Fortune. Again, it's not upside down. It's just kind of hanging in the balance here with that Justice energy, right? Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm getting, because there's like this coin kind of hanging, right? But that sword of truth needs to be wielded first. Some of you may be observing a situation, figuring out how to act here. You may be on the outside looking in on someone else's relationship too. I just got that, which is really, really weird. But with the contemplate energy, we have 2 sevens, and they're both cards of contemplation. The 7 of Pentacles, that's choosing wisely your investments before you move forward, contemplating what you're putting your time and energy and effort into. And then 7 of Cups, that's a card of options. Can be fantasies too, can also be illusions. But with this one, it's like there's so many paths to pick from, there's so many options in the clouds to go with here. This one is now bringing in kind of a meditative energy with that meditate. It's a break, it's a rest, it's a healing phase. These two together, like time out, like I'm figuring something out, especially with that Page of Swords energy. What needs to end here? What needs to end with the what do you need to release? The World is the end of cycles with this full moon. And then under that, we have an Ace of Cups coming in. There's a choice here with the 2 of Wands. You might have a choice in love as well, and you have to end one of them, and you're contemplating which one's the best fit for you. So we're going to go ahead and look at this Lovers and 2 of Cups next. Tell me about the Lovers and the 2 of Cups. Just so the Emperor, that's more of that Aries energy. And that's about taking control. With that backing it, that action I was talking about. Clarify the Lovers and the 2 of Cups, please. Okay. The Hierophant. There's you guys. There's your major. I want to see if anything else comes out first. I do keep seeing the moon. We are still in the new moon in Cancer energy. Something, this is very specific, but for some of you, something got introduced or started kicking off with that new moon in Cancer on the 17th. So just as I'm recording this, like 2 days ago, and you're having to cut something out that's old. Like something came in with that new moon energy, and then the full moon energy coming up on the 1st is begging you to release something else, to let that blossom. Anything else about the 2 of Cups and the Lovers, please? There's that Emperor. The 9 of Needles. Interesting. Okay. So here's that ending we were talking about. The World that was showing. For some of you, you're holding on to just hope or the idea that something is wish fulfillment, and that's like kind of coming to an end now. Maybe you've seen someone's true colors, or just something about it is like it's time to let go with that illusionary energy that we saw. But justice coming through again. And this is funny. So justice, that Libran energy, Something about it is balanced, fair, and what's right. There's cards of what's right for you, and what's overall just are coming through here. This is the Star, hope, optimism, can be a healing energy too. Look to the North Star, praying on it. Can also be something getting your attention. But this is major for Aquarius, which is that full moon that I was talking about. There is hope here. These two together is very positive energy. For some of you, you are dealing with an Emperor. They look the same to me. I believe this card, if I'm remembering correctly, has a double meaning about the mask not being as scary as it seems. Some of you are just going off and being single, and there is no other relationship. You're just cutting something out. Some of you, I'm kind of getting that you know who this Emperor is, and the Emperor is what needs to be cut out, and this energy is attached or behind the mask of this Emperor would be very controlling energy, or maybe have some, I hate to say it, but mental issues possibly. But for others with the Emperor and that mask there, that's a mask of control, especially with that Queen of Swords energy. With the surrendering to the wheel, that can be where that mask of control is coming in as well. This is very hopeful, healing energy too, especially for those that are just cutting things out and you're not moving towards anything in particular. We have that Nine of Wands energy. This is the final push, and it's towards fulfillment here. This is that weary energy that was coming through over here. Same energy, right? She's kind of looking towards those skulls. Some of you are struggling with taking control, that backing it energy. It's scary to you, or it's difficult. She's looking at all those heads on sticks, and she's like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can make this final push here. This is a walking away energy, Eight of Cups, but it also walks towards fulfillment. So with the releasing here, it goes to the 10. There is a final push here. Some of you, it might be very difficult to strike up the sword here, but it is, with that energy is gaining momentum. This is waiting to come in. But for some of you, it's a hard push, you know. With the Hierophant coming out, and this, make no mistake, it is an unrelenting energy. Like, I will make it to shore, but then you're at shore. That's all you have left, right? If you keep pushing, you're at the 10 of Wands, which is too much work. It's exhausting, right? This is the final push to shore for something, and there is hope and fairness and optimism behind that with Justice and the Star. The Hierophant with this is like what's right to you, what's in your heart, your beliefs, your morals, intrinsically you to your core. That is your major there. There is a megaphone there that's kind of for those of you where I'm getting that like taking up, striking up the sword energy, striking up the sword energy, using that voice, you know, being confident about it with that final push energy, with that releasing. And then others of you with that, it's just what's right with, and what's balanced, what's fair, what's true to you. The megaphone and the Queen of Swords indicates communication. So I'm going to leave it at that, but take away, meditate and contemplate. For some, there is like maybe a quieting of the mind that needs to happen, or a getting truthful with yourself, or a kind of stepping back to see the bigger picture kind of energy with that contemplation. For some, it's how to go about doing this. It is a final push, or it's very difficult decision, or difficult to let this go. But take away with the lovers and the Hierophant. And those 2 7s we saw earlier, by the way, and the 2 9s, 9977, those are all about your path, right? Your path. And that's what the lovers is as well. And just keep in mind this Wheel of Fortune kind of hanging in the distance, right? It's not upright or downright. It's just kind of hanging in there, waiting on this release here. So I'm going to leave it at that, you guys. I wish you all the best. Until next time, take care.